another question that came in. Now, we had lots and lots of questions, and we will get over them or through them over the next number of weeks. Brian Flanagan talked about adding 10 to 15 new lads to his initial panel. Who do the lads think might be there? Maybe if you give one or two, just not 10 or 15, just one or two that might have sparkled for you, Ger, up to now.
Chat before we came on air to share these names around, but yeah, there's a lot of guys catching the eye. So the three that I settled on were Owen Sheehan in goal from Johnstown Bridge, nothing against Cian Burke or Didier Cardonier, but I think that goalkeeper jersey for Kildare is one that we could do a battle for and a scrap for, and Cian Burke was the man who finished with the jersey very much in his possession. But I think Owen Sheehan, the size of him, he's just an absolute giant of a man. He's a huge kick of a ball as well. So he was obviously in with the under 20 panels in 23, I think he was. He actually played one of the championship games after Cormac Barker was dropped after the first round, but I think he got injured then. Cormac came back in, and the rest is history, as I said, because Cormac was fantastic that year and obviously won an All-Star at that under 20 level, but it's Owen who's kicked on at senior level at the moment, so he's certainly someone I could see maybe in the mix. Aaron Brown is maybe an obvious name, who was probably right on the fringes of things last year as well, and a little bit unlucky maybe not to get the call up to the final panel. He started well this season. He got that crucial equalising point against Johnstown Bridge, and then a blistering spell against the tie when he scored 1-3 in the first half injury time as part of a 1-6 total against the tie. So that's a big one for him, and he'd be one to watch for the remainder of the championship, because the last couple of years he's been really, really good for Selbridge, and then maybe just couldn't fire on final day. Certainly the final was in Carlow a couple of years ago. I think he was carrying an injury, so probably very unfair to judge him on that one, but he's definitely someone it's good to see him up to good form. And then just a bit of a wild card, and going to see that Grange versus Kill game tonight, so another opportunity to see the Bergens. Fiona's obviously the one who catches the headlines with his high scoring tallies, but Conal is someone who I think maybe has the possibility of getting involved in a squad, and he'd obviously need to have some of the S&C work. He's a big, tall, rangy man with a great engine, can cover a huge amount of ground from the centre of the field, or whether a wing forward or anything like that. So he would be someone that maybe I would see possibly being called into a squad, and then see where he could push on from there.
Tommy, have you one or two?
I do. So yeah, just thinking about it. So I actually gave one earlier to the lads. I took off the lads. Now I'm kind of regretting that because I thought it was somebody else. But I will give. So I'll give one that I think one of the lads wanted to use as well, which is James Dalton. Based on his performances this year in the Intermediate Championship, he's top scorer at the moment. But his performance, I think he scored 7 points the last day against Ballyteague. But I think it was Richard was saying that a lot of the shots were shots at goal, because he's so goal hungry. He's so goal hungry.
3-3. I think he scored 3-3 the first day.
Yeah, like he really is having a super season.
Poacher. He's like an Ian Rush for those of a certain vintage.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a lot of attention on him as well this year, after these games, because there are other probably Salins players that get a lot of attention, and then the likes of James probably got not a little bit of room because he makes his own room. He's that good. But it's going to be interesting to see how he goes for the rest of the championship. But if he keeps going the way he's going, it won't be up to us to talk about him getting the call up, because he'll definitely get a shot. One of the guys on the development squad last year was Pat Martin. A huge fan of Pat. Pretty sure he got Junior Player of the Year last year. Sorry, there's just a crack of thunder outside. That's been frightening the life out of me. He was on the development squad, the Kildare development squad this year, Player of the Year last year. You know, I think he has all those attributes as a flying wing back to make some kind of an impression. So we'll see how he goes. My other one is a bit of a bolter, is Conor Harris from Rat Coffee. I've seen him a lot. Seen him a good bit over the last couple of years. This year, even the last day against Atgarvan, just really impressed. Now, obviously, he's big into fitness anyway, so he's naturally going to be fit. He's strong. His condition is excellent. He's very physically strong, fast. It's a lot of it is whether he wants it as well. You know, I mean, if he gets called up, you know, he's had a bit of time in with Kildare panels in the past. I think he has all the attributes. I think he's 25, 26 to give it a go if he wants it, and if he continues the upward trend of his form at the moment. I think he has county player written all over.
Richard?
Yeah, I've just I'll just change my mine on the fly here because I'm literally running trials in my head here for my panel here. I have 3 as well. Obviously, I have Niall O'Regan from a defensive perspective, but he's brilliant at coming forward as well. And he was in with Brian in his 2023, I think it was, under 20 panel. But he's just like, he's a workaholic for Celbridge. He's involved in everything good about them, comes forward, scores 2 or 3 points a game. Like, he's constantly involved in possession. That's always been the sort of player he's been. So he's one. I think in midfield, looking at what we're missing is a little bit is that sort of mobility combined with, you know, height and skill in the perfect midfielder. And I think Callum Bolton is probably as close as we have to all of those sort of qualities. But one person who I've been interested in is Dara Mangan from Salins, who's a real athlete. And I wasn't sure there was so much of a footballer in him. But I think certainly what I've seen of Salins so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing him maybe tonight, is, you know, I think he's a player who shows a lot of promise this year. And just that, if I can maybe put a second person in there, Kieran Flanagan from Maynooth, from a midfield perspective, would be a backup for that one. And then in the forwards, I think one of the things we've seen is the 2 pointers being taken on from club players. And one that has impressed me, and, you know, maybe we didn't score as many at county level as we would have liked this season, would be Dara Sloan from Johnstown Bridge. He's got 6 in the last 2 games, so I'm interested to see whether he can keep that particular form going over the next few games, starting with a tie. He got 5 in the last game, and I think it was 1 in the game before that, so 6 in all. So he's one. He's a slight enough fella, but he's certainly accurate when it comes to those long rangers.
I left out Colin Moore. I'm sorry, Richard, because you said you were going to use Colin Moore, so I just
gave him a comment.
He was on my original list until you said you were using him, but then you've obviously I mentioned Colin Moore. I
dropped him at the last minute. Apologies.
Yeah, he's definitely an up and coming talent.
I'm just going to I suppose select one impact sub, Austin Nevin of Cara. You know, he'll do 10 minutes. He'll do a great 10 minutes indeed, Austin, and he'll score 4 points as well if Kildare are badly stuck. So those are the picks.
Pat, sorry, speaking about impact subs, one guy that I had on my list here that I just replaced with James Dalton, because it's probably not, I don't know whether it's realistic or not. The best player I've seen from Naas this year, including the county final, round 1, round 2, has been Paul McDermott. Yeah. Whether he's coming off the bench or whether he's starting, he's probably the best Naas player on the field. And that's when I see him. Now, I think he's 26, 27 years of age. He's coming back from injury. But just let you know that he was on my list. Not letting it away.
There you go. So those are the questions. Some of the questions that come in. Lots of other questions come in as well. We'll have them over the next number of weeks. Don't forget, all 21 games in the Kildare Championship this weekend, Football Championship this weekend, will be shown live on Clubber TV. There'll also be coverage on KFM Radio, and you can read all about it in the Kildare Nationalist on Tuesday next. Jared, just a couple of things then happening over the weekend. We have, of course, a number of Irish or Kildare players involved with the Irish squad on Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely. And even more excitingly than that is we've had a Maynooth man play for Everton since we were last on the podcast as well. So my 2 loves combining there of Kildare Sport and Everton. And of course, Mark Travers is one of those who's in the international squad for Ireland on Saturday evening and on Tuesday as well. So he's probably unlikely to get a run now. I think Queven Callagher's move from Liverpool and into the first position there for Brentford probably nails him down. Then of course he has Nathan Collins in front of him, both at club and international level. And Nathan, the Irish captain, he's going to be a huge player in this World Cup series. But a quick mention there for the under-21s as well, who have a couple of games coming up, because we spoke about Cathal McCarthy at length, I think, on the previous episode as well, and he got a couple of minutes at the end of a game for the second appearance in the championship for Hull, coming off the bench last week against Bristol City, and he's got his first international call-up, along with the prodigiously talented Michael Noonan as well, 17 years of age, man living out in Ellistown there, and he has a huge future, one of the brightest young talents in Irish football, and he has his first international call-up to the under-21 squad as well, which is, of course, picked by a man who lives in Brannockstown for the best part of over 20 years now, Jim Crawford, a Dubliner originally, but a long time living here in Kildare, and of course a huge part of the FAI setup, and the under-21 manager. They're starting out on their qualifying series as well for the European Championships, and it's a pretty exciting looking squad now with the likes of young Noonan there as well, and Trent Coney Doherty is another one from Liverpool, who's another exciting young talent with his first call-up as well. So yeah, that's a squad to look out for as well, and hopefully it can go well for Jim.
Yeah, and of course, if you can't go to a Gaelic football match or you can't go to the soccer match on Saturday night, then you can go to the K Club for the Amgen Irish Open, which is ongoing at the moment as well. And some great Irish players involved, of course, and everybody, all the eyes will be on Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it's like in up around the K Club there now, because we were having a bit of chat about the weather beforehand. Yeah, I'm looking out the window here down at the bottom of just outside the Cullen, and it's absolutely been pouring down. There's been hailstones and everything. So if they're getting that sort of weather up at the K Club now over the weekend, it might put a bit of a dampener quite literally on things. But it's great for the county of Kildare to have any sort of high-level sport like that, international sporting competition within our county. It's fantastic, and you see some of the world's superstars like Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry, and of course they're all kind of attention turning towards the Ryder Cup as well, which was previously held in the K Club, but that's only around the corner as well. So yeah, no, it's fantastic when you see any sort of international competition like that here in Kildare. And yeah, if you are going though, bring an umbrella, I'd say is pretty good advice.
Absolutely. So that's it, lads. It's been a very long short grass this week. We've covered an awful lot, and we had an awful lot to cover. So my thanks once again to Gerard McNally, to Richard Commons, and indeed to Tommy O'Connell, of course. I'm Pat Costello. Best of luck to everybody who is participating in competitions this weekend, all clubs, all teams, and enjoy your weekend, enjoy your sport.